Welcome to Modelz Talk. Let's talk about it.
Yes, y'all. Good evening. This is your girl Zahara Gihana with Modelz Talk. And guess what? I got a special panel going on this evening with some beautiful queens. And when I tell you these sisters are bad and bad to the bone, baby, y'all just don't know and understand, because these women got testimonies for you about how it is to be a plus and curvy size model, and also queens across the board. I have my one and only Erica Quinn, my queen, Summer Love. We also have Jennifer Grant and Miss Neha. And babies, I want to welcome you all to Modelz Talk. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Good. You looking fabulous.
Well, do you?
So are you? Thank you so much. I am so happy. I've been so excited all day about this show, and I can't wait to get right into it. So let's just do that. Look, each one of you introduce yourself a little bit and give us 30 seconds about who you are. Let's go with Erica.
I am Erica Quinn. I am the current reigning Miss Tennessee for America Strong People's Choice 2024 and the current reigning Miss Middle Tennessee for America Strong 2025, and will be competing next weekend for that covenant crown. I am an author. I am a modelpreneur, plus size model with Wilson Plus Talent and Consulting. I just launched my relaunched my mother's ministry that she left me. She passed in 2022, called His Healing Hands, Kingdom Outreach. And I am a transformational life coach. I'm a 20-time published author, international anger specialist in anger management, and a mother of two, grandmother of two, and 55 in life.
Yes. Bring those credentials, baby. Erica Quinn, talk to me.
Yes.
Okay. Look, Miss Queen, let me say it like this. Queen Summer Love. Yes, talk to me, baby.
Good evening, everyone. I actually am Cassandra Alston Townley, Chaplain Cassandra Alston Townley. I am a licensed and certified chaplain through Healing Heart Ministry, which is an international ministry. But I lovingly go by Queen Summer Love. The name was gifted and blessed to me by a 9-year-old, and I took it and ran with it. I'm a mother of one, but I was blessed with 12 additional bonus children, 41 grandchildren, and 15 great grands.
Wow.
I too am I'm an author. I am Miss Elite Full Figure Virginia 2023 and reigning 24, representing full figured women ages 61 and over. I am 63 years old. My platform is alopecia awareness, because you do not have to have hair to be a queen. I just found out I needed the hair to wear the crown. However, we made adjustments. It's working. So, and I also am the founder of Summer Love LLC, and under that umbrella, I have Summer Love Sassy Seasoned Models, which is a 50-plus modeling group here in the 757 area in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. These models are absolutely amazing. They are not your typical senior models. I am so proud of them. As a matter of fact, they have opened up for quite a few shows. I'm a personality host, so I come with a big personality, a lot of energy. And I'm going to try to cut it shorter, but I just do want to just say, with pageantry comes community service. So Erica Quinn, to hear what you're doing, absolutely amazing. I actually am the recipient of the Community Service Award for the Miss Full Figure Virginia pageant for 2023. And I am honored with the 2023 United States Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. So thank you, and I'm keeping it there because it's too much more. It'll be a book.
Baby,
but
yeah, you got some titles, sis. You got some. I was reading through your stuff, and I'm like, I can't get all of this in. I'm gonna have to let her do the talking because she, the short and sweet of it. Sneha,
I'm giving you the short.
talk to me, Sneha.
Hey, hi, everyone. This is my first time to see you all together, and I'm glad you are, already inspiring with all your introductions. So about me, if I have to introduce, I don't know where to start, but then I am a simple soul who is trying to make a difference in life. I'm trying to be an example for many like us, like curvy models and what more. I'm Personally, I'm a trauma survivor, but then professionally, I was into IT and I'm a fashion designer myself. And then I came here. I come from India, right? So I flew all the way here, and found new opportunities. So currently, I'm a curvy model, officially doing all the shows and
Yes.
yes. And then I'm also a pranic healer. That's my pranic healing is a spiritual path where I took. It gave me purpose. It healed me from my trauma,
Mhm.
and it helped me embrace my body, my new body.
Okay.
And yes, and I'm here celebrating my curves every day. And I when people see me somehow who looks like them, walking on a ramp, on a magazine cover, it says you're enough, just as you are. I'm so thankful how many times on daily basis I get DMs from different people that I inspire them, and that's very purposeful for me.
Bravo, baby, you doing it too. I mean, you are always so amazing. Jennifer Grant, talk to me.
Hey,
Hey,
girl.
girl.
I'm Jennifer Grant, originally from Birmingham, Alabama.
Uh-oh,
I
we got some buffering going on.
have been in Georgia for about 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
How about now? Do you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Y'all
You were
hear me?
buffering.
Okay,
Yes.
great, okay. Great. Okay, yes. So I'm a plus size model. I just did my first international show. So you're looking at an international plus model now.
Yes, baby.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes,
way to
ma'am. I
go.
have been modeling all together for about 4 years. I currently run a girls club right
Uh-huh.
now because I also build confidence in these young girls. So in middle school, I'm definitely just building them up. I do hair. I love just doing any type of confidence building. And yeah, I just love the runway. It just loves me, and I just have an amazing time. I feel so free, and I always just feel like time is doesn't even matter when I'm there. So yeah,
Well,
the
let
runway
me
is
ask
my
you all
love.
this. This is thank you for that. You girl, you doing it too. You do why all y'all are just bad to the bone. All y'all. I got a great panel tonight because you're also accomplished and you're also well spoken and you're also elegant. I mean, really, y'all got me feeling like I ain't doing nothing over here. But babies, I am just so proud of all of you all. Look, tell me where your confidence comes from. Um, Summer Love, where does your confidence come from?
You know what? I have to give thanks to an amazing community here in Hampton, Virginia. I am actually originally from Brooklyn, New York, and as a result of homelessness, I am now a homeowner, and I made my way to Hampton, Virginia. Um, and one of my best friends I met here, she challenged me to a model call. I said, model call. One, I was just starting to embrace the alopecia, so
Mhm,
I didn't know
mhm.
how to handle that. And
Right.
but I went to the model call, and surprisingly, I showed up with my rollator. Okay, showed up with my
What?
rollator and shaved head. And and when I was casted by four different designers
Uh-huh.
on my first model call, it shocked me. So feeling a little uncomfortable being there, showing up with a shaved head, I asked each one of them. I said, "Well, if you would like me to, I can wear hair."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But that wouldn't be your true self.
And then I, well, I had two of the designers say to me, one said, Queen, I love you just the way you are. And that moved me. And then the other designer said, oh no, you're unique. We
Yes.
want you just the way you are. And that did something to me at that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was not always a very confident person. And what a lot of
Right.
people do not realize, the personality that so many see on social media, that's not who I was. I
Wow.
was very shy. I lacked confidence, and it was a difficult journey growing up, because adults can be mean.
Right.
And I've literally had adults who compared me to my other sisters, and I felt so, I didn't feel beautiful at all. So
Mm.
now it's since I had my child, of course, I lost my schoolgirl figure. So I'm like, here I am, 60. I do not have that hourglass figure, no hair, but just like I said, it was the people, the circle that embraced me here
Right.
and loved on me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know what? I'm old. When you're young, as you get older, you start to lose things in life. Some people lose their teeth,
Mm-hmm.
hearing, vision. I lost my hair and my schoolgirl figure. And as I did this year with so many, listen, when I was younger, I was all hair and no belly. Now I'm all belly, no hair. And I'm fine. I'm,
But baby,
I
you
am
looking
me.
good. You look good, sis. You
Thank,
look good. Okay.
thank
I
you.
mean, you
Thank,
aging like fine wine.
thank you.
You're welcome, Jennifer. Where did you garner your confidence from?
Oh, my confidence. Okay, so so I have been the same height, wearing the same shoe size since I was 13 years
I
old.
read that.
So I know you can't tell how tall I am on camera, but I'm 6'2". I've been
Wow.
wearing the
I want
same
your height.
size.
Give it to me.
Been wearing a size 12 shoe since I was 13 years old. So when I was 13, I didn't like this body. Like, I didn't like my height, my shoe size. I was just the tallest one. I stood out. I was a sore thumb. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, by the time I got to high school, though, most of the kids had grown and they had got up around my height or a little bit taller. So I started feeling better. But it
Right.
wasn't until I got an adult and when I moved to Georgia, I'm in the mall just shopping. And a lady walked up to me and she said, "Have you ever thought about modeling?" And I was like, no. And I was like, yes, so, I have thought about it maybe once, but not really. And she said,
Mhm.
you should come to a casting call. So I went to this casting call, and I tell you one thing, being selected, like just that first time, it was just such a confidence boost. And then when you really just hit the runway, it's like you just feel like you're just in your own zone, like nothing else matters. So my confidence, it comes from the runway. It comes from the smile that I can put on people's faces. Um,
Yes.
that's that's what brings me the most joy. And then seeing those beautiful pictures at the end, the
Yes.
relationships, even when you hear your model sisters telling you you did good or you showed out,
Yeah.
just seeing that support, it means
Yes.
a ton. Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it
And it builds your confidence a whole lot.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Erica, you're next. Where
Yes.
did your confidence come from? Because you got a whole bunch of that.
So I I had confidence as a child,
Mm-hmm.
but I went through trauma as a child. And so I
Wow.
had to learn about that confidence that I had on the inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I really did not fully, and I know people who know me are going to be like, whatever, but I wrote a book called You Know My Name But Not My Story.
I
Because a
read
lot
that.
of times what you see on the outside is way different than what a person's got going in on the inside. And so
Absolutely.
I really, truly, truly came into the confidence, to the brightness that people see now today
Mm-hmm.
after my car accident
Wow.
in 2018. I got really depressed, and my mom knew I was depressed. She could see it. I didn't know it, but she saw it. And she ended up finding the Miss Plus America pageant system.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
she was like, you need to do this. You need to do this pageant. And if anybody's mama is like my mama, when she say you need to do or strongly suggest, that means I don't care how grown you is, you got to do this.
That's
And
right. That's
so
right. That's
I
right.
ended, I ended up going and doing, well, I ended up signing up for the Miss Plus America pageant. And at the same time, I was like, I've never done nothing like this before. Like I've spoken, I've sung, I've done, but it's a different world, right?
Yes, it
And
is.
so another friend of mine who was a model was like, hey, so that you get some runway experience, get used to walking in front of people, why don't you come and walk in a show with me? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I guess
Oh,
so.
wait a minute.
And
Not just a dry okay. Oh, come on now.
and so I ended up going to the casting, and I got picked by like 3 designers, my very first casting. And it was such an amazing experience that the pageant bug and the model bug kind of bit me at the same time.
Wow.
And it's because of both of those elements
Mm-hmm.
that I am more confident, I'm more bold, I'm more authentic, I'm more unapologetic about who I am in the spaces that I am. You love me, you love me, you don't, and it's all good.
I hear you, sis. I hear you. Miss Neha, tell
Yeah.
me, where does your confidence come from?
About my confidence, I think I'm just born with it. I'm just born with it. I mean, growing up, I was always a performer. I'm always a stage person. I was a dancer, and I learned martial arts. So it's in a way I had a foundation. So
Mhm.
but then when I went to fashion designing, being a fashion designer, and went and saw the industry there. At the time, my body type was different, right? I
Right,
was
right.
very skinny. People asked me to model at that time. In my head, I was not tall. So, and I was like, why are these people asking me to model? I felt it as offensive statement, because I thought beauty standards, in a modern industry is so and so. So I was like, okay, fine. And then, I mean, somehow I did not model at the time, but then after I came here, I endured the trauma and all those, working on myself during, therapies and all. I realized one beautiful thing. When I was skinny, I was not feeling good about my body. But
Right.
then when I am now with this body, I feel absolutely great.
All
And
right.
it is not
Go ahead,
about
Mom.
body. It is not about body. It is never about the body type. Then
Mm-hmm.
I started exploring what is that. I truly love myself now. I think everyone is beautiful.
Right.
They're all beautiful. I did not shrink myself. I did not give power to the world to define what is
Yeah.
good for me. For me, I mean, everyone is beautiful, and I'm beautiful too, right?
Yeah.
So it's about how you feel. It's about your presence, your energy, your heart, and so much more. And it's every scar, every stretch mark, the smile lines, and the curves, everything that tells you story. When I realized that, there is no stopping. There is no stopping.
Right.
I just went on, and I never, people loved me. And in fact, my husband loves me more than, when I was, and I love this body, new body. And I only can thank. So that is where, my confidence comes. I don't know what happens when I'm on the runway.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm a different person. I just go with
Absolutely.
the flow, and And the kind of the energy that I get in when I'm on runway, and even I got many applauses and many opportunities. It's just I love this life. I mean, I also believe that curvy models are equally worthy of magazine covers,
Yes,
billboards, and brand campaigns. We are all worthy of it.
absolutely. I see the inclusion that's going on now that should have been happening 100 years ago, because the average American woman, the average woman in our country is a size 14. Okay. And she's 5'6". And I've stated this a lot of times on my show because that is fact. Okay. A lot of people don't know that and they don't recognize that, and it's about time that curvy models and curvy women that have size get their recognition. It is about time, and I am so elated in seeing what you women are presenting, because I used to be a curvy model, okay? But because of circumstances and because I'm a lupus warrior, I lost a lot of weight, and with my illness and stuff and things that went on with my person. And so, now I'm not a plus size model anymore. And it weirds me out sometimes, it really does. Um, what about curvy me? What is it saying? Oh, what about curvy men? Okay. Or what about men? How do men folk react to you now versus being a thin sister? Anybody, just chime in.
You know
So
what I find interesting?
What?
Because I find that the full curvy men, they tend to still judge us, and they prefer the smaller woman, even though they are standing before me with a belly and a gut that hangs. So it's like, and I just don't understand it. You know, and then you have those that do appreciate it. We get the compliments. So it's
Mhm.
a kind of, mixed thing from my experience.
Wow. Wow. Anybody else?
I think it see anyone, you have to you have to love yourself. Self love is a daily practice for anyone, any body type, any gender. If you
Yes.
practice your self love, and I don't think you will ever judge someone or even compare someone to yourself. If you love yourself, just love yourself, guys.
Do you find that there are traumas that you've gone through that have helped you become the women that you are? Um,
Definitely.
Definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you ask me anything I want to change in my past, nothing. I'm
Mhm.
not going to change anything because of my pain, because of the story I carry. Everything defines and everything helped me grow and more relatable to people who are in trauma. I mean, now that I wouldn't make my purpose of life to be kind and to be kind to everyone, no matter what. Because where I came from tells me, so pain is a beautiful thing. It helps you grow
Mm.
if you
So
actually
you have to go
look
through
at
the pain,
pain.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Mhm,
grow
mhm.
through pain. What
Yeah.
about you, Jennifer? I know that you've had some trauma in your lifetime, and I know that you lost your husband. How did you grow past that?
You said I lost my husband.
Was it you? I may have the wrong person, baby. I may have the wrong person. Well, how did you go? Have you gone through any trauma that you can talk about, and talk about how it affected you and how it has been a catalyst for you?
Yes. So, as far as like trauma, I can't say like major anything. It was more so like the confidence or like being talked about or not being included. Those things. It hurt my feelings when I was a little girl. Of course, because I didn't see anyone that looked like me. I didn't have anyone that can kind of build me up. Now, my mother, She was the one that poured into me from when I was a little girl. Always told me every day I was beautiful. So that always kept me going. I just didn't see it as much until I got older, until I start, just coming out of the shell and really just being who I am, and just building relationships and seeing people. So that's why even in my adult year now, like, I don't judge anyone, just like Sneha said, like, you just love everybody just for who they are, their uniqueness. You're just kind to everyone, because that goes a long ways. And
Yeah.
sometimes people, they just do not know, or, they don't know what people may go through.
No.
A lot of people can carry a smile and it's not really a smile on the inside. So I just find it fulfilling for myself to just be kind to people. But yeah, I definitely say, like, just the confidence part was something that I didn't have as much as a young girl. So at that time, a lot of times I didn't pursue different things when I probably should have, just to break the barrier, just to be like the first of my kind, to just walk through the doors. Yes,
Well, I'm sure you
ma'am.
didn't have too many 6'2" sisters running around. I'm sure.
No,
So you were
not at
definitely
all.
one of a kind.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it
Yes,
made a
ma'am.
difference, and different
Uh-huh.
scares people. Different scares people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
It
was very
does.
tall. I mean, I was 5'11" at 13. I get it. I was always the
Mm-hmm.
tallest thing in the room. Always the tallest thing in the picture. So
Mm-hmm.
um, little short guys will always try to ask me out.
Every
you know,
time, every
every
time. They
time.
don't give up.
No,
Yeah,
they don't give up. They're like little
they don't.
chihuahuas.
So,
They're
Uh-huh.
like little chihuahuas. Erica, I
well,
know
I don't
you
have that trauma. I'm 5'2".
Is it
So
true?
that was never my trauma. I'm always looking up to everybody.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But
Erica,
but
you
I
have the
my whole life has been a trauma. Say I've had some journeys second to none. People don't realize I'm a brain injury survivor. I'm a
oh wow.
9/11 survivor. I was bit by a pit bull and have nerve damage in my right foot, but still I walk. Physically hit by a car, 2 car crashes, 2 spine surgeries, but I'm up
And
runway,
still you
lovingly
rise.
travel with, yes, I travel with my rollator. I lovingly named my rollator my BMW. It stands for Big Mama Walking. It's the 2026 model. I have a bicycle belt and a license plate on it, and I show up and I have a great time. I think I'm one of the most happiest people in pain you'll ever meet.
Uh, baby, your story is amazing. Um, Erica, darling, you
Yes.
have the Legacy Project, Hits Healing Hands, Kingdom Outreach.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, my I'm gonna try to do the Cliff Notes version.
Okay, baby, we got time. Talk to it.
So, what ended up happening was in June of 2022, my brother was murdered,
Mm.
being a good Samaritan. He didn't know strangers. He was the kind of person that he could have just met you, and an hour later, I could have seen you and him sitting on the porch talking, and I'd have been like, Lewis,
Who's
who's
that?
that? And he'd have been like, oh, that's my homeboy. That's my homegirl. And they just met an hour ago. Like, that was my brother. He did
Mm-hmm.
not know a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a good-hearted guy. He struggled with things. We all have demons in our closet. We all have things, but his nature was to love people. That is
Right.
who he was. And he was helping a friend, or someone he considered a friend, with the situation, and he ended up losing his life.
Wow.
And
I'm
that was
sorry.
in June. Thank you. That was in June of 2022. And then 4 months later, in September of 2022, my mom passed.
Oh,
Now, the
baby.
doctors say that it was because of her health, but I know that it was because of a broken heart. I
Mm.
honestly believe, had my brother left this earth any other way, my mom would still be here. But when you have to keep telling the story and telling the story, and that's one thing that I learned watching her, and that my youngest learned watching her that he didn't allow me to do was to have to retell the story until I was ready to tell the story.
Amen. Amen.
Because she had to keep reliving that and reliving that and reliving that. And I believe that she literally died from a broken heart. Well, what I ended up finding out was that she wanted me to take over her ministry, which was called His Healing Hands. And I was like, okay. And so I've sat on that since 2022 because I'm still going through my grieving process. One thing I learned,
it's still wrong.
Right. You never grief. Grief never goes away. You just learn how to utilize the grief that you have.
Yeah.
And you learn how to take the grief from a sadness to a commemoration, right? And so that's kind of the journey of where I am right now. And so in February of this year, I finally decided, let's do this. And so I reincorporated her ministry as His Healing Hands Kingdom Outreach. And the one thing my mother told me was to continue the legacy, but to do it as Erica. Don't try to continue the legacy like I would do it.
Right.
You continue the legacy, but you do it how God sets you up to do it. And so when I went in and I started working and formulating what His Healing Hands Kingdom Outreach was going to be like, there are many elements of her because like her, because I am a transformational coach, because I have gone through therapy and different things like that with trauma and anger management and all of those things, my heart, yes, is for women who have experienced trauma. But trauma doesn't mean that you were sexually abused. It doesn't mean you were physically abused. Trauma could mean that you lost a spouse. Trauma could mean that you lost a child. Trauma could mean that you worked in a job for 35 years and walked in and they said, we don't need you no more. Trauma comes in all forms, shapes. And so part of what she did, which is part of what I've kept in her ministry, is she did conferences and she did retreats and things of that nature. Where I brought me into that is I had started a business called Prestige Agency a couple years ago during pandemic that went nowhere. And it was basically bringing together authorship to provide a platform for women to do book collaborations on different subjects, different things. My modeling, to be able to help women who wanted to get into modeling, develop a portfolio, get a comp card, begin the basic steps, just to get them into the basic things so that they can then launch out, maybe get them in a couple of fashion shows here and there, that kind of thing. And then pageantry, bringing them into the pageantry world. Because I tell women all the time, every woman should do a pageant at least once because it makes you grow and become greater. And my sister Queen can attest to that. It will do something to you that you can't even put it into words. Every time I do a pageant, I become a better version of who I am. And so I added that in there. And then in conjunction, I decided, how do I honor my brother? Because he was a big part of her ministry as well. And so I developed the Lewis Quinn Good Samaritan program, which includes the Lewis Quinn Legacy Scholarship. And so I'm going to be having my first fashion show that I'm going to be producing called King Strut Walking His Legacy. And it's a fundraising fashion show to raise scholarship money to present to 5 African-American young men who are going to school for either STEM, social work, social justice, nonprofit or entrepreneurship, music, and education. And so this fashion show, the men are the feature and the women are the backdrop.
All right.
So I've got about I think 9 male models right now. And then I have a plethora of beautiful women that are going to surround them. Still working on getting a few more kids in there from ages 5 to 16. But I've got the big and tall men. I've got the standard men, the plus size women, the standard women. I don't care if you got a disability. I don't care if you want to be a part of this show. You can be a part of this show. It's a great, I'm also doing a royalty segment because he was a big support of me and my pageantry. So I'm looking for pageant queens who want to come out and strut the runway in their crown and sash and they vest this gown and have a good time. And so that's kind of how that all came about and where that is. And so, like I said, I'm moving from the sadness of grief into this is how I begin to commemorate their lives. And I begin to celebrate who they were in my life. I still have my days. I still have the moments I miss mama.
Of course you
I
do.
have the moments I miss baby bro. I still cry. I still kick. I still scream. But then when I get through kicking and screaming, I go, okay, now how do you take that? And we move into something positive. I don't allow myself to stay there. And so it's I tell people all the time, trauma, any trauma can either be transferred or transformed. And
say that again. I want you to say that one more time. Say that again.
Any trauma can be either transferred or transformed.
Yes.
And when you're transferring it, you're doing all the negative things, the improper things, the unhealthy behavior. But when you begin to transform that thing, I tell people my story is I am like a caterpillar to a butterfly. I had to die to me so that God could pull out of me what was already in me to make me be the woman that you see before you today. And the beauty is not that the caterpillar turns into the butterfly. The beauty is that the butterfly can never go back to being that caterpillar.
Right. Absolutely. Girl, you're amazing. You are so sorry. I had to change the phone around. My picture decided to turn sideways and go a little cuckoo puffs. But it is what it is. All right. Ladies, when you're bringing energy to others and energy and light to others, how does it make you feel? Sneha, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel accomplished, and it's my true purpose. Like it makes feel like authentic self. When you're going somewhere, for the in the modeling industry, when we go, the problem is with the way society frames and treats them, like skinny versus and curvy and all those, because beauty standards are made in that way and all, right? But then when we are slowly changing and focusing on the light, not the shadows, and bringing that energy that makes beautiful. I every day go to people runways, and then I see I like to work with diverse models, because everyone brings so much to the table.
Absolutely.
They are similarly, they are, if you see deeply into a person or a model, anyone, they are having the same emotions, same all kind of insecurities, or empowerment, whatnot. Everybody is bringing in their own ways, so it feels good, it feels home when I can relate and be there. And when we are doing modeling together in backstage, we connect a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love what you said. That is so true. You have to be there for each other. Jenny, what do you think? What do you bring when we're talking about that energy, that light? How do you bring that to other people?
Anytime I walk into anywhere, the first thing I'm like, hey y'all look so beautiful. And so and even just walking up just to give a hug, just say so good to see you, or anything that can build someone up, because as Sneha just said, we're all back there. Everyone has something that they're concerned about, maybe insecure about, things that
Yes, ma'am.
they're just trying to perfect. Everyone is, kind of nervous, trying to get a feel of everything. And every time you walk into like a show, you don't always see the same models.
No,
So
you
it's almost like you really just have to build those relationships and quickly.
hmm
And then it makes the environment so much better. But
Yes, it,
I just think the main thing is just really just being friendly, talking to everyone, even just giving just a kind gesture,
mhm,
even a hug, or or just help someone out. Even when people are getting ready, when outfit changes, sometimes it can be so back to back, and
right.
even just helping someone get into their garment and they don't expect you to do it. It's
Mhm.
almost like that, that brings somebody, they'll just be so thankful. So my main thing is just to be of service to everyone, that I come in contact with in any way that looks like. So if I can help the designer, if I help the model, if I just help the production, in any
Mhm.
kind of way. So I always just try to look for ways that I can help. And then that's just bringing just that light, and just bringing, happiness, and know that we're working together because we're
Yeah.
all like in the same industry. So when
And
you're helping someone else out, that's fulfillment for me. And even if I never get a thank you, I know that I did good.
right thing. That's right. You did the
Yes,
right
ma'am.
thing. Summer Love, darling, can you tell me what it's like to have negativity in your realm when it comes to, people looking down on you because you're a plus size woman?
Mm, that's a good one.
At my age, I've learned how not to own it. I
Uh-huh.
don't own anyone's negativity. You
Mhm.
see, one to you, Erica. I lost my mother 33 years ago, and I still have my cry out moments. And
Mm-hmm.
on my mother's deathbed, my mother looked at me. She said, you have a way, you have a gift of putting a smile on a person's face and in
Yes.
their heart. Don't lose it. And I took that to heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unapologetically misunderstood, and I make no apologies for who I am. And at my age, I cannot focus on someone else's mess, stress, and drama.
Say
I
that
don't wear it.
again, sis.
I cannot focus on anybody else's mess, stress, or drama. I
Yes.
do not wear it. I am not thin skinned. I tell everyone my skin is as thick as my hiney.
Mm, mm,
So
mm,
you
mm.
can come with the negativity. Silence is the loudest sound you can ring.
Woo. Say
If you
that.
feed into it, if you feed into it, that's when it keeps going. But
Mm-hmm.
if you walk past it like nothing ever was said, done, or heard, as long as there's no physical touching, abuse, or attacks, leave it alone. Leave it where it is. Um,
Ah,
Matter of fact, I just experienced recently where I was falsely accused of something.
wow.
And I spoke to the person directly. They opted to take it to social media and post it, and I ignored it. And of course, my phone is ringing. Please, let's talk about something else. I don't have time for that.
Mm,
I will nicely and politely just dismiss it and move forward because I can't stay there. I have things to do,
mhm.
for me, for my growth. And I did not engage in those type of activities when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school. Now I am a senior. Someone told me recently I was an elderly. I said, well, dang, I'll take senior for 2000. The elderly was a little strong. However,
That's all right. That's all right, baby.
however, I'm not going, I can't go back. It's like we just tend to handle that graciously with a smile and silence.
What about you, Summer Love?
People, they don't know what bothers me and what does not bother me for the most part. We have to move forward. As a matter of fact, I tell some of my young ladies, big up, put your big drawers on. It's
Okay.
okay. I said to my son one time when he was upset about something someone said about me, and I looked at him and I laughed. I said, honey, please. I said, let me ask you something. Is it the truth? He said, no. I said, then why are you mad? Because it's not the truth. Then why are you mad? I tell her if it's not true, you shouldn't be mad. And if it's true, big up, own up to it. Don't be mad. But if it's true and you're going to get mad, then maybe you need to look at yourself and you need to change.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Erica, what about
Yes.
you? How do
Repeat
you deal with negativity when it's
with
brought?
negative. You know, I've again a lot of stuff as you get older, you grow, right? And
Yeah.
you grow to where things that once would bother you don't. And so I used to hear my grandmother used to say to me all the time when I was little, be like a duck and let it roll off your back like water.
Yes, ma'am.
I couldn't understand
Yes,
that for the
ma'am.
life of me until I got a little bit older. And then I was like, oh, okay. So when stuff comes up, like my sister said, if it really, listen, nobody's got a heaven or a hell to put me in but God himself. So
Amen.
why am I letting you stress
Come
out my
on with
life?
it now.
Right? But that's something I had to grow into, right? I had to grow into that. It didn't just happen overnight. That came with growth. It came with learning. It came with trial. It came with error. It came with all of those things. But the one thing I had to do was, first of all, I had to learn how to give myself mercy and grace.
Amen.
And know that it's okay if I crash out or if I popped off. When I didn't know how to handle the situation. But then after that, I had to take the criticism and I had to take the understanding and go, okay, wait a minute. We should have handled that differently. We should have done this differently. We should have done that differently, right? And so now what I've come or my philosophy or my personal introspect or however you want to look at it is, if you're hating on me, that means I'm bothering you, which means you're talking about me, which is okay with me. Because because if I didn't bother you enough for you to talk about me, yeah, I must not be that important. So obviously, I play an important role in your life for you.
You better say that. You better say that.
If you hate me and you want to talk about me and waste your time to talk about me, and sometimes people talk about you that you don't even know who they are. Thank you. Thank you. Because guess what that does? You know, there's that saying that says, they say all publicity ain't good publicity, but sometimes bad publicity is the best you can get. Because what happens when people start doing this and everybody else want to know, well, who is this person? What's going on? And then they begin to find out the truth of who you are. And they realize that what the other person said wasn't factual after all, but now they done fell in love with you. So now you got people that are now in your circle that may not have been because somebody else was running their mouth about you. And so if that's how you want to spend your energy, boo-boo, spend your energy that way. But I'm not going to spend my energy trying to constantly put out the fire that you started. I'm going to let that fire burn you. I ain't got to touch that flame.
You better.
I don't have to walk in that smoke.
Yeah.
Right? I can stay in my fresh, clear air over here and do what I'm doing and move how I need to move. And I've had situations where it's been right in my face. I had and I know the way things are going in the world right now, things are very sensitive, right? And the way people respond to people and things like that. But I was in the store the other day, because I am in Tennessee, in the South, right? So let's just be real where I'm at. All people aren't nice people, right?
That's right.
And I had a woman literally turn around to me in line and go, well, with everything that's being taken away, and she was talking about the DEI and all of those things, with all those things being taken away, how are you feeling? And I looked at her and I said, sweetie, how are you feeling? And she said, what? I said, see, what you have to understand is the pains and the reality that you are now experiencing has been my lived experience all 55 years of my life. So I'm not I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm not worried. God's got me. But how are you doing? Because I know this is new for you. What tips can I give you? I quit, and everybody in the store was like,
What?
and I had people walking up to me like, that is the best response
Mm-hmm.
I have ever heard somebody. I didn't get ugly with her. I just, you want to put it in my face? I'm going to just respond to exactly what needs to be said so you have an understanding and we can move on from this. There was nothing she could say. I wasn't rude to her. I didn't, you know how they want, how a lot of times we can be and as women, period. I don't
Yeah.
care what race you are. We can go there. We can crash out real quick. But there wasn't a reason for me to crash out. I think
I'm
she
proud
was
of you.
really trying to ask the question, just came at it kind of a little lopsided. And I just had to bring her back and say, listen, I'm good. But how can I support you?
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole store was like, wow.
Exactly.
Wow. And I had people just walking up to me. That was the best. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. And so sometimes you have to step above your haters and respond to them as Christ would respond to them, with love and compassion.
Absolutely.
And that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
A long way.
When you all are dealing in the industry, what do you see as being discriminatory against you? Anybody can answer.
Something that bothered me when I started, being in the industry, that I'm not posted by some photographers in spite of great work. Experience. I did not see my body representation in their pages, but I realized I'm not here to fit in. I'm not here, to take up the space.
Yes.
And beautiful, I will take my powerful space. I also feel, many people in the fashion designing, most of the fashion designers, the brands, the popular brands. I mean, I don't want to name those, popular brands, so-called high fashion brands. They don't even consider plus size.
No.
They don't have it. It means like it's a royal rejection. Like, we don't consider you as a models. That actually bothers me. But I'm also happy that I'm seeing so many very high-end brands are promoting, and they're putting diversity in the fashion industry. At the same time, having said that, some brands use they use a curvy model as a support, like as if it is like a checklist. They're there, but they really appreciate us? No, not necessarily. So that is still, this has to change. This has to change, where people truly, the brands, high fashion, because I believe we are not taken seriously. Curvy women are not taken seriously in a high fashion world, because they think we are very sexual in the pictures. At least that was my, I was told, like, you look too sexual
Wow.
for modeling for high fashion.
Wow.
That's something, I don't know. Something has to be changed here. I'm trying to, because this is something bothering me right now. Like, until curvy models are seen equally, worthy magazine covers, billboards, and brand campaigns, not just in DMs, or
Right.
like, not just for, like, you understand what I'm saying. So,
Yes, we understand what you're saying exactly.
I don't want us to be like, like us objects, like, although they're like, they are like sexually, all those, and the double standard of fashion industry that I often see, that they're like, oh, too sexy for editorial fashion shows. Skinny models wear the same clothes, and its bias curves are viewed as provocative and not high fashion.
Mm.
That's unfair, you know.
Yeah, it is unfair and it is unfortunate. Jenny, what do you think? What do you think it is that's so discriminatory that we have to fight so much to become included? What do you think?
So for me, I know when I first started modeling, I was a size 10. Of course, at the time, plus size was considered to start at a size 8. I was a size 10, and I remember this was my very first show. I will never forget. I just remember even when the makeup artist put me to the back, they wanted to do the
Really?
smaller models first. Yes. And I remember I was there so early. I was ready to get my hair and makeup done. And I remember them telling me I had to wait. I had to wait. And then they said they don't have enough time. Even
Wow.
my hair, same thing. And I remember on the opposite side of it, well, the standard size, of course, I was considered too big to
Mm-hmm.
model with them. And then on the plus side, I was considered too small. So it was a challenge at my first show. I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't have my hair done, I don't have my makeup. And I just remember one of the plus size girls, and she's well known now, very sweet person. She said, come, she said, I'm not gonna let you go out there, without your hair done. And she did my hair for me. She's actually a hairstylist too. But she did my hair for me, did my makeup, and I was able to go out there. But I just
Wow.
remember just being stuck in the middle. And here I am thinking, okay, this person came and found me at the store. I get casted, and then here I am, can't get hair and makeup done. So I don't know why it's like that, but even now, I'm nowhere near 10 now. I'm much more plus size now,
Mm-hmm.
but I have embraced it now. Like I know this is like my place. And the good thing about the industry, is that they are still including us, whether some people accept us or not. We just have to keep showing up. We
That's
just
right.
got to keep showing up and letting them know that we're here. So even models, most times they won't even tell you about a photo shoot or a show
Right.
because they don't want to see the plus size person there. And
And
even me and my model sis Tam, we just went to Paris.
I
We
know.
were two of the only plus size girls representing plus size for that particular production. So it felt really good, but when we got there, the looks almost as if we didn't belong there.
Wow.
But you know, God said my gifts will make room for me. So I already know either way, no matter what happens, no matter what nobody thinks, designer, makeup artists, models, we just got to keep showing up. Because the
Absolutely.
good thing is there's a huge difference from where it was 10 years ago
Woo!
to where it is
And
now. So
it's
we got to see that progress and see that we are breaking barriers. We just got to keep showing up.
Summer Love, what do you think would be the most advantageous things that plus models can do right now to push the industry?
Can you please repeat that? It kind of broke out.
I'm sorry. What do you think that plus models can do right now to keep pushing the industry forward? What can plus models do?
Oh, definitely. First, to chime on to what Jennifer just said, keep showing up. We
Yeah.
have to show up. We have to represent. Um, we're absolutely beautiful. And contrary to what a lot of people seem to feel and believe, that because we are full figured,
Mm-hmm.
because we are beautiful women, we're lazy. A lot of us are not lazy.
Woo!
We're not lazy. Even on disability, I get up and I'm in pain by the end of the day. But
Yes,
my
ma'am.
surgeon said you have to walk. I walk. So I get out there and I represent for the melanin woman. I represent for the bald divas and
Yes, ma'am.
bald dons, because men have issue with alopecia as well. I represent for the homeless community. I represent for the differently able. Okay, because I'm not disabled. I'm differently able. I may show up with that rollator, but I parked that BMW, Big Mama walking in the VIP section in the waiting area, and I walk the runway and I
Yes,
represent for so many families. I show up because we can, we do, and we will. We
yes, ma'am.
are absolutely amazing.
All
And
right.
I show up.
I am so happy to hear it. Erica, what about we're in our final thoughts. So I'm gonna let you take us out on the final thought, Miss Erica.
I just want to chime in with, with what my two beautiful sisters just said. And yes, definitely showing up is an absolute must. For so many times, I was invited to the party, but never asked to stay.
Mm,
And I used to let that bother me, right? Because they would say they wanted plus size, but then when you got there, they really didn't want true plus size.
mm,
And so one day it dawned on me, don't get upset when they invite you to the party and then they don't want you to stay.
hmm.
You go sit down at the party, even though they say they don't want you, pull you up your own table, get to bringing your own folks to your table and watch how much they start letting you stay. And
Yeah,
so what I started doing was, instead of just me showing up to those model calls, I would go and I'd get 5, 6, 7, 8 of my other plus size divas and be like, we all going together. We're
That's
gonna
right.
show up in numbers and be
yes,
like,
ma'am.
we are just as worthy. And when I tell you that, listen, I'm just gonna put it, plus size divas can walk a runway, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna
Some
stop
of
you
the
right there.
baddest chicks on the runway right now look like me.
I'm going to stop you right there. Thank you for that. We're getting ready to go out. I hate to rush this, but we are in our final moments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you have been a pleasure, and it has been a pleasure. We're going to have to do this again because I know you got so much more to say. And so this is your girl, Zahara Gihana with Models Talk, y'all. Peace and love always. I'm going to throw them deuces. Model love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am humbled.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. It's
You're welcome.
inspiring
Have
to
a
listen
good
to
night.
all the stories.